Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another SAFC Fan TV on a Thursday night. Yes, Thursday night, a preview for the Birmingham game coming up. But first of all, we'll move on to the Cardiff match. But with us tonight, we have Only Fools in SAFC. How you doing, mate?
I'm not too bad, Terry. Thank you very much. Been a long day at work, a long week, but looking forward to the next hour. Catching up on the last few games and looking forward to the next one. So, all good.
I think you've definitely got the longest journey to work and back every day, haven't you?
I have, from my bed to my seat.
Happy days. Also, we've got Jack. Jack, how are you doing, mate?
I'm good. Yeah, seems like it's been a while since we've had one of these. Plenty to talk about, plenty of action in the two matches, and looking forward to it. Yeah, I think absence makes the heart grow fonder. So, bit of crack about Sunderland and hopefully enjoy it.
You do look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tonight. What's going on here?
Well, I've had my hair cut, you know what I mean? Had my hair cut and on nice and early. No internet problems like I had the last week. I missed the first 3 or 4 minutes fashionably late last time, so all good, raring to go. And
Sunderland got a win as well, so happy days. Absolutely. Also, we got Owen, SAFC. Pardon?
I said that's the main thing, absolutely.
That's what the smile on the face is for. And we also got SAFC, Owen, exiled Mackham. How are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good, Terry. Yeah, all good. It's off the back of a positive result. Looking forward to hopefully another couple of positive results. And you know what they say? Never say never. Never say never.
Exactly. How's the YouTube channel going?
Oh, it's going all right. All right. Just over 1,000 subs. Views are okay. So yeah, it's still going. Still going, Terry. Not as many as yours yet, but we'll get there one day.
I'll be retired long before you are, though, put it that way. I'll be dead and buried and you'll still be going strong. Right, anyway, on the live stream, we've got Mick Griffiths, the moderator, evening all. Las Palmas Mackham, second on tonight, so you're slacking a little bit, mate, but welcome to the channel. We've got Mickey Mack, evening, come on, please. Come on, the lads. Only Fools in SAFC, James Carr, and Mick Griffiths says, hello, Terry. Hello, everybody out there. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far. Right, so before we move on to the match, the Cardiff victory, quickly, Owen, chat about this new Ukrainian lad we've signed today.
He's 17 years old. He's known as the Colossus, which apparently is not irony. He's over 6 foot. He's 17. That's about all I know. So he's apparently quite a decent lad. Let's hope we've unearthed the next Andrei Shevchenko.
You never know. Do you know much about him, Wayne?
No, I'd say pretty much the same as what Owen's just been saying there, really. And I scored quite a few goals for the youth team across the team where we're signing from. But apart from that, not really much. To be honest with you, like I say, that's what the scouts have done the job, and he's the next big thing, or he's going to be a good prospect moving forward.
Well, I call him TT because I can't pronounce his name. What's his name pronunciation, Jack?
Oh, I mean, your guess would be as good as mine. Timur Tutorov. That's
good enough for me.
Timur Tutorov. I might be wrong, but that's what I'll be going with. But no, I don't know that much about him, same as the other lads, but he looks like he's got a big physique about him, which is sadly lacking in this team. But I think he's very much one for the future, isn't he? I think we're doing a big recruitment drive to get a lot of youngsters in at the minute with view to the next few seasons and developing the squad together. So time will tell. I think he's somewhere off the first team, but be interesting to see how he gets on with the under-23s. The better he does, the quicker he can maybe rise up.
Another one of Speakman's teenagers, eh? Right, so we'll go on to the game we had it there. Well, it was bang on the Monday, wasn't it? We had a couple of draws. So it was 3 draws on the bounce, and then we went to Cardiff, and I wasn't quite sure how it actually fare, but we turned out a few changes in the side, and we'll start with Wayne. Wayne, what was your thought on the starting 11, and how did it go for the first half?
Well, I was a bit surprised. I think he made 4 changes, wasn't I? I was a bit surprised when I seen the lineup, especially when Ekwar came in. After he's happened against Hull, I was surprised he started because against Hull, when he came on, he looked miles off the pace, to be honest with you, and then the foul he gave away. But actually, he had another half decent performance, I thought, against Cardiff. So, but to be fair, the whole game we battered them. The game, if we keep going back to having a centre forward, if we had a centre forward, the game would have probably been out of sight before half time. The chances were created, we were just cutting through them at will. And when their manager makes 2 substitutes before half time, he's not happy. So I thought the changes worked well. We performed well first half, and against a poor Cardiff team. But I say the game should have been finished before half time, I think.
Now, were they very poor or were we very good?
I think it was a bit of both. Like I say, I think we passed the ball well. Pritchard in particular was looking good. Jack Clark again. So it was a bit of both. They were poor, but like I say, we performed well. Gooch did well. The little think with the system, considering Trey Hume never played centre half before, did really, really well. A certain comeback on the side now. So fair play to Tony Mowbray for making the changes and freshening it up and tinkering the system a little bit.
Oh, and it's down on the card as a 4-3-3, but how did they actually play?
Well, from listening to what Mowbray was saying, listening to the lads and watching the game, there seemed to be a great bit of like fluidity and flexibility in the system, didn't there? There was a bit of 4 at the back and then defending, going to 3 at the back, and there seemed to be with Sirkin dropping in as a left-sided centre back. There did seem to be a great deal of flexibility, and one of the things that really encouraged me was just it was like such intelligent play by the lads, wasn't it? Just the way they adapted, they moved, they adapted the system, they adapted to the players they had. It was just a very good performance. And like Wayne was saying, if we had a centre forward, that we would have put them away before half time. It was a good performance. I mean, you've got to say though, with the exception of probably Reading, Cardiff are one of the worst teams I have seen in the Championship this season. They're absolutely awful. I mean, they deserve to go down on that performance, but the lads did exactly what they went out there, they beat who was in front of them, and they keep the hope alive, don't they?
Exactly, very good. On the chat, we've got no more comments unless my comment chat thing's not working on this other phone because it's a bit dodgy. So we'll go to Jack. Jack, what was your thoughts on the team when it came out? No 09. What was your thoughts on the formation and how did it set up for you?
Yeah, I think 09 was enforced, wasn't he? His last was due to drop, so to speak. So I think that was the only enforced one. But fairly, the back four fairly picked itself, didn't it? I mean, we're really, really struggling for centre back. So Hume had to drop into the centre back position. I think, was it Hume in the centre back position or was it Sirkin? Was it Hume? Hume, I was right the first time, yeah. And then we were going 4-3-3 across the middle. But as Owen was touching on, there was a bit of fluidity, and I think Amad Diallo is one of those players that you can't really pin him down to a position, can you? Because he's not an out-and-out striker, obviously. He's not an attacking midfielder. He can drift out onto the wide and likes cutting in. So I think we have got a really fluid system, and I think we just carved them open. But I agree with what's been said. Cardiff were extremely poor. Not on how well we played. I think we did play well. Obviously deserved to win the game, but they were absolutely atrocious. They had no build-up play whatsoever other than just lumping the ball up forward. And aimlessly and looking to see if they got a knockdown or anything. It was like even bad, even worse than the sort of Wimbledon days or Tony Pulis style. At least there was a little bit of thought when they played, but they were absolutely atrocious. And I felt sorry for their fans having to watch that every game. But we were constantly putting passes together, getting the ball down, getting in behind. And as has been touched on, if we had an out-and-out striker, we would have easily won that 2-3, maybe even 4-0. But the main thing is that we got to win. Just a shame we couldn't get the 2 wins over Easter because we were so close to what would have been 6 really big points and giving us a little bit of life in the playoff chase. But I'm sure we'll probably come on to that later on.
Exactly. Now, you always wanted to see Ekwar start. How did Ekwar fare for you then?
I thought he did better. I thought he was a bit hit and he's one of those that's a bit hit and miss, as Wayne's touched on. He's great one game and then poor the next, and you never really seen a good solid run from him. So I thought he was more involved. He gave the ball away less. His awareness was better. He put a couple of tackles in, which I thought was good because we are a team that needs a bit of physicality, particularly in the middle. That's one of the main positions I think next season that we need to strengthen. I know we're missing Corey Evans badly, but I thought he did better. He's benefiting from Corey Evans being injured. So I think if Corey Evans is injured, he doesn't get anywhere near the team. But sometimes when players are injured, it does give opportunities to those on the fringes. So yeah, I thought he did better.
Champion. Let me chat's working now, finally. We've got on the chat, Ben Allison says hello, and Mick Griffiths. Sorry, Mickey Stewart as well is on there. Colin Major, good evening, lads. Richard Northedge, hello. Ian Barron, good evening, everybody watching. Hope you're all well. My favourite Darling FC fan is back on the Bristolian Macam. Evening, everybody. Ian Barron again says, smash the likes if you're enjoying the stream so far. You're sitting there doing nout. Just smash the thumbs up. Be much appreciated. We have Laura on there as well. Something to finish 6th and get promoted. Wow, nice one. David Wilson, Paul Howard, evening, lads. In my best copper voice, evening, lads. Laura again, let's hope Mr. Sunderland is back on Saturday. David Wilson, evening, lads. Charlotte, S94, says hello to everybody. Glenn Jones, hello chaps. Mick Griffiths, we made hard work of that game. Cardiff must be the worst team we've played this season. They were terrible. Oi, mad mistake. Jack Shields, due to drop Jack. Nice, not a nice expression, lad. A nice expression.
That's just my mum giving us cheek from upstairs.
You're
I love it. Neil, if the Cardiff forward scores the free header, things could have been a lot different. What do you think? Yes, exactly. So Wayne, we'll go into that. First off, Cardiff missed the sitter, but didn't we miss something before that?
We missed about 3 or 4, didn't we? Before that, like I said, if we'd had
that was it offside, wasn't it? Offside. What was your thoughts on that?
I think it was a close one. The angle that they put on the telly, he looked just offside, but unless you were right in line. I mean, to be fair, the linesman was right in line with from the pictures, but from the angle he looked just off. But I think you couldn't tell for 100% on the television pictures. But took it well, good cross, took it well. But I think even if they had scored that, I think would have still come back. I think, they were that poor. That was any chance. And I think when we touched on about signing a centre forward, I think that just proves we were right in not signing Connor Wickham, because he was absolutely shocking. To be took off at half time, he was absolutely dreadful, along with the rest of them.
What was your thoughts, Nick Warden? Were you impressed?
Well, like I say, when against Hull, he was poor when he came on against Hull, but like I say, he did really, really well. He played well against Burnley, didn't he, on the Friday before that? He's one of them players who just seems to have one pace, but he does things when he does it well. He does it well, he keeps the ball well, and I think he did make a chance for, was it Ahmad in the first half, and Ahmad's touch let him down when he knocked it through about 3 or 4 players. So he's definitely got the signs of a good player. I mean, when you think he's only his second full 90 minutes as a professional, so he's still got loads to learn. But if we can keep on, maybe give him a run in the side and then see how he gets on, and the better for next season. But I think there's definitely a player in there somewhere.
Definitely. I think there's a ghost in Owen's house. The door keeps opening and closing.
It's the dog.
Right, Owen. I thought, I've only got one good eye. My good eye's not very good, but I thought the linesman should have got the Specsavers. What were your thoughts on that offside goal that shouldn't have been offside?
I think it's further proof, isn't it, that we need VAR in the Championship. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that there isn't VAR in this league. I mean, realistically, with VAR, that goal it probably stands. I mean, the benefit of the doubt goes to the attacker in all these situations. I think you look at that on VAR, and I think it's probably given. I think it would be given as a goal. So I think it's just, we need next season, the Football League have got to invest. They've got to put VAR into every single ground next season to make it fair. I mean, think about all the decisions this season that, that perhaps would have gone a different way if we'd had the VAR system.
Exactly, you're right. Ekwa, for you, good performance?
Yeah, the lad's growing up. He's getting better, isn't he? And he's gaining that experience. It's like Tony Mowbray was talking in his press conference today, wasn't he? That he was talking about how it's absolutely crucial that these young lads get this exposure to game time. They get this opportunity to grow this season. It's to develop the squad ready for next season, isn't it? And to see exactly what we've got in these young lads that we've signed from France and all over. Yeah, I thought Ekwa was composed. Like Jack said, he brings that physicality that we're missing. Don't get me wrong. I think Mishu and Neil are very, very, very talented players and very good players, but they're not exactly physical players. They're not exactly going to get in a scrap and win a scrap with anyone. Whereas I think Ekwa can. He is that physical presence we've been missing. But he's developing. He's getting better. And this is I think we have got to remember, this is what is only his second ever start in professional football. I think he's done really well, considering it's only his second ever professional start.
Definitely going to get better, isn't he? Definitely going to get better. Jack, I know that you were at the match on Monday.
I wasn't. No, I work bank holiday, so I wasn't able to get there. But I did watch it. What's your question? You're going to ask us about the offside? Is that what you're going to say? I thought
you've got two good eyes. You know the time of day.
I thought it was borderline, to be fair. I thought it was very, very tight. The angle that you needed was the angle directly in line, and we didn't get it. We got the angle about 15, 20 yards behind. Well, it's always going to look worse for us because that angle did look like he was going to be off because you're behind the player. So I think if you showed it in line, would have been very interesting. I thought he was just about level. And I think if you level, as I think it was Owen touched on, the benefit is meant to go to the attacking team. So I think it was harsh to call it out. But we ended up getting the goal anyway. But I thought it was onside. I thought you should have given it. I thought unless it was clear and obvious that it was off. But I suppose we have to judge the linesman. He obviously sorted us off, but I thought it was off.
Do you think we generally defended well in the first half, even with that free header for the Cardiff forward?
Well, someone's mentioned in the chat, and yes, he absolutely should have buried it. A better player, a better finisher would have scored the header. But in 90 minutes, that was the only real chance they had, wasn't it? I thought we defended pretty well, other than that one lapse where the lad peels off the back stick. And luckily for us, he heads it straight to the keeper. But other than that, they didn't have a chance. But I think what we did is we defended from the front. I don't think we're that good defending and actually, in the skill of defending. But what we are good at is keeping the ball in the opposition final third, playing intricate passes and getting in behind. And if we've got the ball in their half, we can't concede a goal. And I think that's the way that Tony Mowbray is going to have to play in the next few games, because when it's open and teams do threaten us and press us, like at Hull last week, we do look a little bit vulnerable at the back. I mean, they did get in behind quite a few times, Hull. So I think the Cardiff style of play helped us, because they didn't want to play football, they just wanted to lump it. And then we were picking up on the balls and keeping the ball in their half. So that was the way I sort of thought we really defended from the front. They were going to be a little bit better in the second half, and they were a little bit better, but I never really felt threatened. I don't know what you lads thought, but I thought for a 1-0 game away from home, I'd normally be nervous thinking, he's the next attack coming, or they're going to get people out. I never really felt threatened. I never thought we were going to get back.
Jack, I completely agree. I thought the whole 90 minutes, apart from that, even that free header, I just thought they were never going to score them up to Sundays. They just looked like they were very poor, but they were just like, they were really slow, sluggish. There was no sort of for a home side, they never once sort of tried to drive forward. I thought it was when half time came, I thought it might come out be a different side in the second half, but I thought we played well in the second half.
I mean, when you look at it as well, Terry, when you look at how close they are down in the league table, they're really fighting. They're only a point above the drop zone, and they were playing like a team that were mid-table on the beach on the holidays. You know what I mean? Nothing to play for, not interested in getting involved in the game. So if I was a Cardiff fan, I'd be really concerned, really, really concerned.
You can see the manager wasn't happy. That's why he put 2 subs on before half time, because not often that happens, to be fair. So, Wayne, what was your thoughts in the second half in the Serkin goal? I was over the moon. Dennis Serkin, he comes up with some decent little goals, doesn't he?
He's done well. I think you've got a couple like that. I think the Millwall game, was it where he got injured? Was that the Millwall game where he got knocked out?
Yeah.
So he's popped up with a few important ones, hasn't he, really? And he's jumping on the spot. He was aware enough to follow the free kick in and get the rebound, So was over the moon for him. He's like Tony Mowbray says, he's a first-team player now. He'd normally be one of the first on the team sheet. He just had his injury problems this season. But second half was much the same, like you've just been saying. I expected them to come out and be a lot better. Now they made another change at half-time, then 2 changes after that. But to be fair, they were just rubbish, weren't they? They were absolutely terrible. I mean, the worry is when you've only got a 1-0 lead, that there's always a chance that you go, stick and get a draw. But I don't think Patterson had saved anybody apart from the free header. I think that was the only real time we were actually troubled. And let's say the back four with Trey Hume in there, and we look solid against a poor team. But second half, I thought we controlled it the same as the first half, and the result was never in doubt for me, really.
I mean, Owen, I agree with the sort of reaction from Serkin to get the goal from the Pritchard free kick. I mean, you'd expect a defender or someone to jump in there and stop that, but for like a centre-back from Sunderland to ping in, he's very sort of nippy and he's fast and he's nimble on his feet, that Dennis Serkin, for a centre-back. He's not like a typical like sort of lumpy or clumsy centre-back. You see, they're really fast, and he just nipped in, put the ball in. So for a decent free kick, if I'd have been the Cardiff manager, I'd have been gutted with letting that goal in.
Defending, I think even the goalkeeper was complaining before Dennis Serkin knocked it in. He was out shouting to his defenders before he even put it in. So just poor. They just didn't look as though they were playing at all. They had no interest. And I think, like what Jack's just been touched on there, having been for likes of Redden and Wigan having points deducted, they've actually been close to the bottom 3. I think they're only 1 point out of it. That 6-point deduction for Redden probably might have just saved them, but there's still 5 games to go. I'd be probably worried if I was a Cardiff fan.
Owen, what's your take on Dennis Serkin? If he's fit, Is he one of the first names on the team sheet?
Yeah, I mean he's a fantastic left back, isn't he? And you know he's good going forward. He's solid defensively. He's like a little battle tank, isn't he? The way he goes, he doesn't shirk a challenge. He's physical. He's also, I mean, that finish. That was the sort of finish you'd expect from a forward, wasn't it? They've been wide awake, following in, been there, Johnny on the spot to turn the ball in. And I think as well this season, when Sirkin's been at left back, Clark's looked a lot better and a lot more confident going forward because he knows he's got Sirkin, who's a more reliable defender behind him. And also Sirkin gets up, overlaps with him a lot better than, look, nothing against Elise or Gooch or Nine. They've all done superb this season. But Sirkin, I think, just has more awareness of what it is to be a left back, the way he gets forward, he overlaps. I think he adds to Clark's game as well. So I think Dennis Sirkin has to be one of the first names. He is a class act, and you know, I think was it this January transfer window? Brentford and Tottenham were both interested in him. Tottenham in a buyback, obviously, and Brentford in taking him to the Premier League. So he's obviously got admirers from the division above. So yeah, he is a class act. I do like Dennis Sirkin.
Exactly. Right, Glenn Jones on the chat says, hello chaps, Mick Griffiths, we work hard of the game. Cardiff must be the worst team. Ian Barron, Jackie Shield said the job thing. Neil Fleury, if Cardiff forward scores a free header, we're saying that one. Paul Heron, Ekwa or Matete? Jack, Ekwa or Matete, or both next season together?
It's a difficult one because I don't think we can probably judge Matete yet. I think he's another one that we're probably hoping is going to be better in the future. So I would say if I had to be pushed, I would probably say Ekwa at the minute, but I wouldn't rule Matete out coming back in next season and possibly featuring. I don't think he's going to be a regular starter for us next season, but we've talked on this podcast quite a little bit about squad depth, haven't we? And needing a big, deep, strong squad. Matete will play his part. It's a long season, so at the minute Ekwa, but I wouldn't rule Matete out featuring for us.
Definitely getting game time. Plymouth's going to be improving Matete. Right, Jeff Evening from Peter Lee. Neil Fleury, to be honest, to be fair, the linesman was about 3 yards from the right place. I think he guessed that Clark was off, but to be fair, it looked like Clark's upper torso was just offside. Fair due. So what's your thoughts on Dennis Sirkin's performance on Monday, Jack, and overall take on him going forward? Is he always in the team sheet for you?
Yeah, he's. I think we miss him. We really missed him when he hasn't been playing. I think obviously he offers that solidity at the back, and it popped up with a goal as well. I think you touched on his reaction time. That was excellent. I mean, it was an easy finish, but it was only an easy finish because he was first to react. He was the quickest one there, and he got himself a tap in. And really, it's a good job he did that. Otherwise, it would have been a really frustrating game for us. 0-0 draw where we dominated. And we don't come away with what we deserve. But I think he's improved as well. You can see from the start of the season how much he's improved. Like a few other players in the squad, he'd be up there, in my opinion, as one of the most improved players this season. I think Sirkin, because he was okay at the start, but you can see him really developing his game. Not just getting forward, but at the back, he's looking like he's disciplined at the back and everything. So yeah, I think you really do appreciate him, and I think we've missed him when he's been out. I was gutted he was out for so long. A concussion we talked about on this podcast a few times. How long is it? What's the protocol? And I think that was just a symbol of how much we really wanted him back, because we know how valuable he is to the team.
Champion. Right, so Wayne Gooch, he moved basically from the left side. He played where we got a draw against Hull, and I think we did well the game before, but he moved over to the other side where we got the draw against Burnley, that was right, and he was on the right hand side this time, and Hume was the centre back. Now, do you think he's going to go for the same defensive lineup against Birmingham like he did then? And do you think that's not a bad three at the back for a home game?
Well, I don't know if we've got any. I mean, that'll depend on how Luke 09 is, isn't it? I think he said Luke 09 at the minute's back in the squad, but that could change any minute. So
yeah, he's 50-50 at the moment. I've heard from a source that he's 50-50 for Saturday. That's like maybe he's a bench.
I think if he's back in, if 09's back, then who do you drop? Because Gooch, to be fair, since he came back from injury, he's done really well. He was man of the match against Burnley. Phillie did well, and he was good and all against Cardiff. So I don't know. It's a tough one. I would potentially keep the same team.
Who's your best back four? If everybody was fit, who would you have back four?
Oh, it would have to be for me: Trey Hume, Danny Batt, Dan Ballard, and Dennis Sirkin. For me, that would be my back four.
Nice one. Owen, what's your thoughts on what's your favourite back four? And do you think you'll keep the formation the same at the weekend?
In terms of favourite back four, I'd have to agree with Wayne on that one. Hume, Bath, Ballard, and Sirkin. But with Luke O'Nien as a holding midfield player just in front of them, just got to get that one in. But no, I think in terms of the back four on Saturday, I think he'll keep it the same. I don't think he'll change it. I think, given the fact, obviously, I don't think Luke's trained a great deal with them. And I think, like you said, he's 50-50. There's no need to rush him back, given how well they played. I think, we've got the Huddersfield game coming up after that as well. So I think he'll probably go on with the same team. And I mean, realistically, they'd always say, don't they? When don't change a winning team, certainly don't change a back four that keeps a clean sheet. Because I think the last time we did that, it ended in disaster, didn't it? So yeah, I think keep the same back four.
Yeah, I think we'll all be in agreement with that, Jack. Do you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you happy with Gooch on there Monday as well?
Yeah, I thought considering I thought he had a poor game against Hull, I thought he recovered pretty well and was a little bit more solid at the back on Monday. And I agree with what the lads have said. I think that's the best back four we can put out at the minute. Obviously, it's a little bit makeshift, isn't it? Because Hume would ideally be right back and would have Dan Ballard centre back, but Ballard's injured, so we're short on numbers, but we are coping. And I think with a clean sheet on Monday, the worry is now we're actually better defensively away from home when we are solid and we're able to counter. Whereas when we're at home, I think there's more emphasis on attacking, and we really do push players forward, which is great, but we do leave ourselves a little bit vulnerable. So it's going to have to be able to manage that on Saturday. We haven't quite got it right at home this season, have we, in terms of being an attacking threat and also being, solid at the back, or relatively solid at the back. We haven't, and I think that's partly why our home record's so poor, because away from home we can counter-attack, stay solid, but that's something to look on. But I wouldn't change anything. I think we can keep it the same way and keep it settled.
But Jack, what's your thoughts on that? Because the Cardiff game was like a home match because we had the ball. Look, they sat back and was putting the balls forward, and we never really were sort of threatened. So why can't we treat the Birmingham game the same, going with the same sort of mental ability? And what's your thoughts on the home record in general?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we can do that, Terry. I agree with you. I think the way the Cardiff played definitely played into our hands, because they were lumping it long, trying to win the knockdowns, but we were picking it up, and then we were gaining possession and dominating possession from there. You know what I mean? That helped us really. I just think this season the normal counter-attacking style has worked better for us. Teams have maybe underestimated us a little bit. I think we have to look at how we play at home next season, because our home record is poor. How do we do that? I don't know. We could dominate the ball, but I think we need to be able to move it a little bit quicker at home as well, because I think at times we are a bit slow and laboured on the ball at home, and I'm often wanting to get the tempo up and knock it about a little bit quicker. But it's a big question, because I think if we do want to be playoff or promotion team next season, it's quite simple. Our home record has to be better than it has this season.
Do you also reckon the 4-3-3 helps the midfield a bit more with extra body in there?
Yes, I think so. I think when you've got that extra man in the middle, you can pick it up and feed the ball from that area and get it down the sides quickly, because I think that's where we're at our best, when we're moving it quickly and getting in behind down the sides and balls into the box and everything. So I think, I agree. I think that should help.
Wayne, on Monday we had Dan Neil on the right hand side. We also had the old Gooch and Ahmad. How do you think that worked? Did that improve Neil's performance?
Well, I think you're saying Dan Neil. I mean, I think he had about 3 or 4 shots, didn't he? I mean, he definitely didn't have his shooting boots on Monday, but he certainly was getting forward a lot more, to get into them positions. And like we spoke at the start, the fluidity was better. The interchanging of passing looked good as well. So I think Dan Neil looked a little bit tired for me on Monday. So I'd be tempted to give him a little bit of rest against Birmingham. But who else did he put in there? So I thought he did all right. But you see, he looks good when he gets forward. Just needs to work on his shooting a bit more. But Ahmad was kind of playing everywhere. He was popping the ball over, like Jack touched earlier on. So, but I thought the fluidity was good between the three of them.
What do you think's the problem being at home this season, Wayne? Did you give us an answer with that, Sammy?
I don't know. It's a tough one. It's like you say, teams sit back against us. We've got to try and break them down, like you say, and they counter attack us. So well, maybe it's a bit naive at times, especially at the start of the season where we should have seen games out and we didn't. We kept on pushing forward. So, the young side with the crowd behind them get a little bit excited, and they want to keep on going and rather than manage the game a little bit better. So they'll learn from that experience for next season, if we can get a few more experienced heads. And I mean, we're seeing against the Hull game where, Hull probably came to you were out to play for, they relaxed a bit. And it was an end game, which didn't really suit us. So, but I think that could be part of it.
Jack, will it be in?
Yeah, just to touch on what Wayne said there, I think Wayne's made an excellent point about their naivety at home. That's 3 times now in injury time we've conceded in the last minute. We did it against QPR in the last minute early in the season when the keeper scored. Bristol City scored in the last minute with a penalty, and then Hull. And I think it is a naivety. I completely agree with. I think we need to be better at seeing out the game at home and just managing the game. And if that means stopping the game and slowing the game down and wasting time, and so be it. How many teams do it to us? If you don't do it. And I noticed last week against Hull, not blaming Gooch because he is one of the more experienced ones, but I think Gooch bombed forward down the left-hand side and put a cross into the box in the last minute. And I was screaming at him, go to the corner, stop the game, slow it down. And they got the ball up the other end. And it was a good 30, 40 seconds later, but they got the ball up the other end and the lad went down for the penalty. And I thought, well, that 30 seconds, 40 seconds where they were getting the goal, any other team would have saw that game out. And we were that wanting to go forward and get the attack on and kill the game off 5-3, that we ended up dropping 2 points. So little things like that, I think we do need to. But I think it'll come. We are a very, very young squad. I know we go over it a lot of the time on this podcast, but I think that these are all things that Tony Mowbray will hopefully be working on for next season.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully. Olivia King on the chat. If we had 5 away games, we'd be more confident of winning 5 out of 5. David Spencer, Blues game should be easy. Neil Flurry Mowbray in his post-match interview said we played 3 at the back. Yeah, 3 at the back. And sometimes 4. We had David Spencer. Let's win the last 5. Mickey Mack. How's the new clock says? Mick Griffiths. Spot on, Mickey Mack. Our home record would have been 100% better if Ross Stewart was still playing, as he gives us more focal point, so we don't have to sit back. And maybe this is what we need to tell the kids. David Spencer, hope we get the last playoff spot. Jack, the fans don't say out the last 5 minutes. The fans don't say out the last 5 minutes. Right, Owen, do you think this was like the problem was there at the start with QBR, and the problem's still there now with Hull? Is this the problem with Tony Mowbray not putting us through to the players?
Partly. I think it's also, young players, very naive at times, perhaps keep on going, just attack, and not defending it, correctly. I think Tony Mowbray also, made a great point today about the home games, the fact that we haven't, for a large part of the season, we haven't had a forward to run in behind, to run the channels. And that's been a big one as well for terms of breaking teams down. But I think there is a naivety there for definite. And, I think that's something we've definitely got to address for next season. And I've banged on about this so much on my channel. I get a lot of criticism for it. But I think we need to get away from just buying a lot of kids and actually buy some experienced players next year. Bring in some players who've got some championship experience, players over the age of 19 would be nice, but at 25, 26, 27 years old, who've got a bit of organizational skills, a bit of leadership skills. Someone, you'd struggle to find someone like these days, but someone like a Kevin Ball who could come in and organize them. You just feel that if you had someone like that, the last 5-10 minutes of games, we wouldn't be conceding stupid goals because he would be there yelling at them, getting them organized, keeping it, compact on the field. I think we do lack a little bit of leadership as well on the field at times like that. There isn't a natural leader there. I know Danny Bath is the captain, but he's not to me, he doesn't seem massively vocal. He doesn't seem like someone who gets in people's ears and like Baller used to. And I think we've never really replaced him, to be honest with you. A coach on the field in effect.
Yeah. Do you not think that it's part of the plan though? Stay in this league this season, give them the years experience in the league this season, so they don't have to go and buy experienced players next season or too many experienced players, because now they'll say the lads have got a year's experience behind them in the championship. They almost got promoted this season. They should be okay for next season on.
No, I still think we need to have. You need a spine, a core.
I know we do. You know we do. Do you think that's what their plan is? Think they're going to buy experience?
Oh yeah,
players?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's the and I hate this word, the model, isn't it? You know, it's the model, isn't it? That's what it is, you know, to go and buy kids from academies, to go and buy kids, you know, young kids. And I get I've got to be careful because I get an awful lot of criticism on Twitter and on my channel for this. But look, yes, Speakman's brought some good players and he's brought some great wingers and he's brought some good attacking midfielders and he's brought some good fullbacks. But to me, we've lacked in areas that we needed to strengthen. We haven't brought in the experienced players that, like Tony Mowbray has been asking for since the start, since he was appointed, really, a backup for Evans, an experienced striker. We haven't gone and done it. And I just feel that if in the summer he doesn't go and do that, and I really do fear that he won't, that any players we sign are going to be kids from someone's academy who, again, you've got a situation with where you're waiting for them to come good. You're waiting for them to be able to adapt to championship football. And is that going to lead to another situation where we're sitting here in a year's time and saying, oh, well, next season we'll get in the playoffs?
Right. I kind of agree. But Jack, you look like a model tonight with that nice hairstyle. Nice smile on your face. What's your thoughts on the model? Have we going to have to change the model next season? Or do you think they're just going to say these players have got years experience, they don't need more experienced players in?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with everything Owen said. I thought he spoke very, very well about the need for experience, and I think we do need a little bit of experience in the squad. I think if your squad's too one-dimensional, i.e. if it's too many experienced players that are slow on the ball and can't move, it's exactly the same as if it's too far the other way, like what we've got at the minute, which is where we've got a young squad, very technical, lots of sort of slight attacking midfield players that can drift in and out and create, but not enough physicality and not enough athleticism as well for me, not enough players that can carry the ball and put the body on the line a little bit. You know what I mean? We are lacking a little bit of that. But I think this season's really been seen as a test season. Get in, have a solid season, and then see where we are and see what we're missing. Rightly or wrongly, I think we could have really pushed for a striker in January. We've touched on it to death, but we could have pushed for a striker in January a bit harder. Could have really had a go at this season. But I think this season, if we ask the owners, really, they never expected this promotion this season. Do they really want it? They would want the financial incentive, but obviously, do they want it in terms of the plan? I'm not so sure they do. I think they probably want this to see how far we are, how close we are, and we aren't that far away. Let's be honest. We haven't had a brilliant season. We've had a lot of injuries, a lot of drop points and things, and we're not that far away. So I think now, hopefully, as it's been touched on, they see it as right. We're close enough. We'll have a good go for the second year, and the playoffs should be the aim next season. I'll be hugely disappointed if we don't get in the playoffs next season. Now I think that's really 2 seasons whereby we could have done it, and it'll be slacking. You know what I mean? I think it'll be real stagnation for me. But I think their model's not going to change too much. Terry, to answer your initial question, I think there might be one or two experienced heads come in, like there was a Corey Evans, you know what I mean, a couple of years ago and things like that. But I think long term, the model is going to be young players to develop and sell on, and I think we're just going to have to grin and bear it and grit our teeth a little bit.
If we keep all the players we have now, how many experienced players would you think we need, Jack?
I think we definitely need an experienced centre back for me, alongside a Danny Bath or a Dan Ballard. Dan Ballard might go in the summer. I wouldn't be too surprised if he did. So I think we definitely need a centre back. Probably, well, as has been touched on, another striker at the very least. There'll be nothing stopping us getting a striker that's maybe a little bit older. I'm not saying people are saying Ashley Barnes is going to be available. I don't think somebody like that. I think he's well past it. But somebody like that's maybe 30, 32, been around a little bit to play as a backup. And I think what we could do with, as we've touched on, an experienced, solid, not I wouldn't like you to use the word nasty centre midfielder, but like somebody that's not afraid to get his hands dirty, as Owen's touched on, like a Kevin Ball, somebody that's a leader on the pitch, put his foot in and things. So I think at least three experienced players in the window.
So Wayne, if we get this nasty experienced midfield player, where does that leave Corey Evans next season?
Well, I don't think Corey Evans will probably play all next season, will he? He's was he 33 now or something, is he? So he's probably not going to play every game. So you're going to have that backup, or maybe even play instead of Corey Evans, and Corey Evans be the backup, that type of thing. So he's still going to be a squad player. I think we've definitely missed him since he's been. We've missed that calm head. I mean, before he got injured, he was probably one of our best players. He was leading on the pitch. He was the calm head amongst all gone off. So my worry is, if next season if you take Ahmad out the side, you know, and if Ballard does go, if Cirkin does go, you know, even Jack Clark, I'm guessing there'll be teams looking at him, you know, where does that leave us? We're then back in the same boat of recruiting younger lads, then that leaves the likes of Bar, Lahaji to then fill their shoes, so we'll be no better off. So we have to have that experience, and I think Tony Mowbray's even said himself in his press conference, read between the lines, that he wants that experience as well. So we have to have, you know, a good summer transfer window.
Owen, are we going to be a revolving door for players, improving players? Or are we actually going to go for promotion next season, getting experience? How many experienced players do you think we need?
For the first bit, I think the revolving door. I honestly don't know. I mean, if you listen to the owners, they talk about the model, and the model is you bring in young players, you develop them, you sell them on. That's the way it works. And there's, at the moment, you know, like the lads have touched on, there's an awful lot of speculation, isn't there, about a lot of our young players. I mean, obviously Anthony Patterson linked with Leicester, Dan Ballard's been linked with a Premier League move this summer, Jack Clark linked with Crystal Palace this week. You know, there is a lot of interest in these young players, as there always is going to be with how well they've done and how well they've acquitted themselves. You've just got to hope that the owners, you know, these key young players, the better ones are the ones we keep and we don't sell on. But I think it all depends on what the owners are going to, and I think we'll see this summer a little bit of a glimpse into that. As to how many experienced players, you know, I think we need a backup to Evans, or a replacement for Evans. So Evans is the backup, and you do need that organizer, that dog that sits in front of the back four and digs people out and digs the opposition out and breaks things up and is nasty. And a striker on a permanent deal. I don't want any more. I don't want a loan. I want a permanent striker on, and someone 28 to, like Jack says, 31 years old, to come in, who's got a bit of nous, bit of something about him. He's been there, seen it, done it. But I think there's absolutely zero chance of that happening. Absolutely no chance. I mean, when they were talking about Jerry Yates for Blackpool in the January transfer window, one of the reasons I think he wasn't even thought of was because of his age. But he's only about 26 years old. If they're saying he's too old, then, you know, where are we going?
Where you want to be in?
I'm just going. So Gary Dixon in the chat there has just said, "There's a name for you, Jordan Henderson, for to come home."
Jordan Henderson, that'd be absolutely amazing, wouldn't it? Absolutely fantastic. So back on the chat, we do have, like you said, Gary Dixon said Jordan Henderson. We got Paul Herron says there's only one Kevin Ball. Gary Dixon again. Rumour has it he's ready to come home. I've heard that rumour myself. But can we afford Jordan Henderson is the first thing, and when the owners bring him in? Paul Herron, one transfer is to worry about. The one transfer to worry about is losing Speakman. Surely some of the more affluent clubs would want a recruitment guy like him. Possibly he might be weird. Wayne, who was your man of the match on Easter Monday?
Easter Monday, I would have to be Ahmad for me on Monday. I thought he was, let's say, he popped up and he was getting on the ball. He was trying to make things happen. I thought he was tremendous against Cardiff. He pulled the strings nearly all the game, really. So Ahmad for me, I thought he was outstanding.
Exactly. I thought he was good as well. I thought Cirkin was great. I'll give mine to Danny Bart. I thought Danny Bart was really solid in defence, cleared everything away. Owen, man of the match?
I'm going to agree with you, Terry. Danny Bath again. I think he's been one of the players of the season. He's rock solid. I think he's leads the leader in the championship in terms of winning aerial duels. He's been one of the players of the season, and he was absolutely superb on Monday. So yeah, Danny Bath for me as well.
Jack, your thoughts?
I like to be a little bit different. I agree with what the lads have said. I could have easily picked either of those, but I thought Alex Pritchard had a good game. I thought he got on the ball quite a lot. I know that the ball hit the post, didn't it, for certain, but I'm giving him an assist for that. It was his free kick that hit the post. You can't give an assist to a post, so I'll give him the assist. But no, I thought he put some good balls in. He kept us ticking over. He played some steady passes that released Amad Diallo a couple of times, and as has been touched on, but for a bit of cutting edge in the final third, Ahmad would have got himself at least one goal. So yeah, could have given it to any of them, but I would have given it to Pritchard. I thought he had a really good game. Nice
one. Back on the chat, we've got David Spencer asking how my new clock is. My new SAFC clock is absolutely fantastic. This one works. Happy days. The one I got in the post was completely smashed. I blame DPD. Really useless. Anyway, right, we'll move on to the Birmingham game now. I've heard from a good source that we're going to keep the same formation for Birmingham because Birmingham's a team that likes to sit behind the ball. So we want to get players down the flanks and get crosses in. if I went non-existent forward, but obviously we'll have somebody up top. Thoughts on the team for you, Wayne? Would you keep the same team? Would you change anything at all?
I would probably bring Gelhardt back in for Abdullah Bar. I thought Bar was probably the most ineffective player on Monday. You know, he's not a centre forward. I know he scored the goal against Norwich, didn't he, a few weeks ago, but he didn't really get into the game, I don't think, on Monday. So for me, I'd have Gelhardt back on the side. I didn't know if Mitchell.
Ignore the formation, right? Like, kind of ignore sort of formation. I didn't say that. Right, there's Bar there, right? So where would you put Gelhardt and who would you put in Bar's position?
So a fourth, I have Neil Ekwa. I mean, he might not play Ekwa. He might take Ekwa out there and leave Bar in. I've got a feeling Mitchell will start as well. So, I think he didn't he say? I haven't seen his press conference today, but I'm sure he said if we've got nothing to play for, that the loan players probably won't play anymore this season, which I thought was quite a strange thing to say. But I think he's going to try and give some of the younger kids a bit of run on the side. So we didn't know, but I think he'd probably keep the same team with the exception of Bar for Gelhardt.
Right, Owen, your thoughts on the team? How would you set up and who would you change?
I think I agree with. I think Bar was probably wasn't great at all. I didn't think he performed brilliantly. I think you'd take him out of the team. You put Mishu. I think you put Mishu back in there because again you're going to be going against a team that's going to put a low block on. They're going to sit in. You're going to have to try and break them down. I think. So I think Mishu comes back in, and I think I agree Gelhardt comes back in. So I think you'd probably take Pritchard as well as he played. He does seem to be spelling Pritchard, not using him consistently. Pritchard and Ekwa out, and Mishu and Gelhardt come in for those two. I'd imagine that's probably what he'll do. I would imagine.
Would you go 3 centre backs still, both of you?
No, I'd go stick with 4-3-3.
I'd keep this information, but I think Jack's touched on this like numerous times throughout the season. When Pritchard is on his game and playing well, we always play well. When Pritchard's on his game, he makes us tick. So if he's starting to play well, I'd keep him in.
Right, Jack, your formation, your team?
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny one because I preach Ekwa and I like Ekwa's physicality, but really on Saturday, nearly said on Tuesday, on Saturday, we're going to have a lot of the ball, aren't we? We're going to be needing to sort of break them down, as has been touched on. They're going to be deep. They're going to have a low block, and they're going to try and frustrate us and probably nick a goal. And as Cardiff did at the stadium, I like earlier in the season, nick a goal and then defend and make it a horrible game. So I think you will bring Mishu back in. Mishu didn't play, and obviously he's one of our better players on the ball. So I think he'd probably come back in. Who does he come back in for? Bar didn't have that great of a game. You could bring him back. That would be an obvious one, or even maybe Ekwa. Maybe as good as I think he can be for us, and as much as I like him, I think you've got to play the right team for the right game. I think Ekwa might be better on Tuesday against probably a Huddersfield team that are going to be difficult and grinding a result out and physical and a threat from set pieces, as Neil Warnock teams always are. Ekwa might be more suited to that game, so maybe take Ekwa out or and put in Mishu and possibly bring Gelhardt back and bring him into the final third. A bit more threat in the final third, hopefully. I wouldn't drop Pritchard. I think he thought he got on the ball a lot, and I think take him off by all means after an hour and 65 minutes. But particularly his balls into the box, they're really, really threatening in set pieces as well. He's one of the best at set pieces in the team, so I wouldn't drop Pritchard.
Do you think Roberts is unlucky not to get a start?
Possibly. I think, yeah. I mean, he could be a threat off the bench. Terry, absolutely. I think, yeah, probably he hasn't done anything wrong, but it just, when you're not in the team wins. As both Wayne and Owen have touched on, you don't want to make too many changes, do you? So that's probably harmed his chances. The fact he'd probably want to keep a settled team, and he might not feature. But Roberts will be another one intricate, tricky player that's good at sort of breaking down teams. So who knows? We have a few options in the midfield area.
Nice one. Back on the live chat, we've got David Spencer. You'll never know. Jordan Henderson could be our manager one day. You just never know, do you? Never know. Richard says he loves Pritchard. And Neil, wouldn't surprise me if he plays 9 in the midfield with Mishu and Ekwa. I think we definitely look better with 3 in the midfield. But we'll get Owen. We're going to go back to you a second. How do we start winning at home?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? I wish I had the answer.
Do you not feel that the Cardiff game was more like a home match?
It was, yeah. I suppose it was the way we did have more of the ball. They did sit back and they did defend, and yeah, it was. You know, that's a difficult question. I think the thing is, if you look at the home games against the better teams, we've perhaps done a little bit better. It's when you play against those teams that are going to sit in, and you know, obviously Huddersfield and Birmingham are going to sit in, aren't they? So. It's gonna. I don't know. I think Jack was right in terms of, you know, increase the tempo, speed it up a little bit. I think they need to shoot more. I think at times we chronically overplay. At times it's almost like they want to score the perfect goal and walk the ball into the net. And I think we do need to take more shots on goal and stop overplaying. I think there's times, you know, when they're at the edge of the box or they're just inside the box and you're screaming at them, shoot, and no, they tap it to someone else or backhand it to someone else, and it is frustrating. So I think speed it up a bit, take more shots, don't overplay, perhaps be a little bit more direct as well, you know, in terms of have that plan B if we need it.
I thought a few times on Monday, I thought Ahmad was like guilty for overplaying the ball and trying to walk the ball in, just tap the ball in. We in home form, really disappointing this season. How do we go about beating Birmingham on Saturday?
I think it's just managing the game. I've already spoke about it. Is managing the game better. If we do get, you know, 1 or 2 goals up, you've then got to manage the game and see it out. And you know, then it's down to Tony Mowbray of how he manages substitutions. You know, does he do it a little bit better? I know he likes to stick to about 60 minutes to make changes, but if it's not working, does he do it earlier? Does he do it at half time? I don't know. It's a tough one. I think, like we've been saying, it's a young squad. The expectation of the crowd, you know, can get on top of them a little bit in the phase where they get a little bit nervy and start giving the ball away. And when we're winning 1-0, we'll start sitting a little bit deeper and deeper. So I don't know. It all just comes down to game management, I think. And
what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on Birmingham? Then what's your thoughts on Birmingham?
Well, I don't think they've got the middle of the table. They've got not much to play for. So they're going to come to you, you know, with no pressure on them. So they might not sit in. You know, they might come here and give it and try and nick a win. You know, they've got nothing to play for. They're comfortable mid-table, so they might want to come and try and give us a game, which will suit us. But see, it's going to be, I don't know. Is Anderson playing for the money? Is he there? Is it Anderson that we used to on ours? Used to be able to centre half. He was on loan. Sanderson. I was close. So I don't know. I think it's the next 2 games. They're going to be pretty similar, I think, in the way that it pans out. So let's hope we can just, you know, manage it properly and nick a couple of big 6 points. What's
your thoughts, Jack, on Birmingham?
Yeah, they're pretty much safe now, aren't they? They've got 50 points. They're 9 points above the drop zone. I can't see the likes of Reading, Cardiff, QPR. I can't see them getting 7, 8, 9 points from the last 5 games. So I think they're going to be safe, but that can be dangerous because sometimes, as has been touched on, you know, that they've got to see it as a free hit. We beat them down there, didn't we, on that Friday night game in November? We got 2 goals up and then they came back and had a little bit of a go. So I think, how do we beat them? How do we improve the home record? I think we just need to keep the ball moving at a quick tempo. I think it's okay keeping possession, but I think sometimes being a bit more direct, getting the ball, even knocking the ball into channels a little bit, you know what I mean? And getting chased and getting teams higher up the pitch. That's sometimes as effective as playing the fantastic football and scoring the brilliant goal. I'm not saying do that every time, but mix it up a little bit. It'd be what I would do, you know, threaten them in behind, get them turning against their own goal. And then, you know, when they drop off and play a little bit deeper, keep the tempo up and keep the ball moving quickly in the final third. Get the technical players on the ball, your Alex Pritchard, your Patrick Roberts if he plays, your Jack Clark, your Amad Diallo. Get those players on the ball as much as you can in the right areas and hurt them and try and not get dragged into their style of play because they'll want to make it a slow game and foul and shut off the space and then try and counter like Stoke did so effectively. So I think just keeping the ball moving and keeping our ball players, so to speak, technical players involved as much as we can.
Got a prediction on for Saturday?
I think it'll be tough and tight, but I think we'll edge it. I'm positive. I think I'm going to go 2-1 to Sunderland. Just
nice one, Wayne. And we're going to have to actually Owen first. Owen, Birmingham could be on the beach on Saturday.
Yeah,
can we get a result? Can we win? What's your thoughts on Birmingham?
I think they'll be a tough team to beat. Hull were on the beach, weren't they, as well? And they came and gave it a right go. So no, I think they're not a great team, Birmingham, don't get me wrong. They've got a few talented players like Joe Bellingham and that Bierlich and Sanderson, and Jutkovic is always a bit of a threat. But I think we'll beat them. I think it'll be 2-0 Sunderland.
2-0 Sunderland. Back on the live chat, we've got Marion Trowles as well. Hello, all my footy lads, 3 points. And then we've got Mick Griffiths. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Wayne, what's your thoughts on Birmingham's sort of? Will they be going for it, freedom, or will they be on the beach? And what's your score prediction?
Yeah, they're going to come here, and if they've got now to play for, so like Jack said, it's a free hit for them. They're going to come up relaxed. I mean, it'll depend, what their ambitions are. If they want to come up and give us a right game, then we'll wait and see. But I think, if we can get the first goal, then it's a completely different game. I think when we score first, we always tend to control games a little bit better. So I think we'll beat them. I think it'll be a tight game, but I'm going to, same as one, I'm going to think we'll keep another clean sheet, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 win as well.
2-0 win, happy days. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win as well. That did my prediction today. Right, now, big question, Jack. 5 games to go. How many games have we got to win to make it to the playoffs?
All 5, Terry. All 5. If we want to be getting in the playoffs, we need 15 points. If we get 15 points, we've got a chance. We'll have a decent chance. Anything less, even your 13 or 12, if we won 4, I think you're going to be really struggling, because it's a 4-point gap, isn't it? And I think 1 or 2 have a game in hand on us, don't they? So I think the honest answer is, if we want to be in the playoffs and going with good momentum, I think we need to win all 5. It's not impossible, but I doubt it.
How many can we win in your mind?
How many can we win? I think there's no reason why we can't win all 5. There'll be tough games. I think realistically, how many will we win, though? I think it's more likely to be 2 or 3. I think we'll probably... I think we will win on Saturday. I think Tuesday will be a really hard game. Huddersfield are fighting for their lives. Neil Warnock knows how to set up a team for that situation, doesn't he? A team that's low on the luck, but will go and give a bigger team a shot. I don't think we'll win that one. West Brom will be an open game. That could be any result. I think we'll probably beat Watford at home, but I don't think we'll beat Preston, because I think Preston on the last day will probably be there or thereabouts, and they're at home. So I find it hard to see us winning that one. So how many points we'll get? Probably maybe 2 wins and a draw, 7 points from the last 5, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, 7 points is not good enough. Preston are actually in really good form at the moment, and they are above us on the table. So, Wayne, how many games have we got to win? How many do you think we'll win?
Like Jack says, we've got to win them all, haven't we? I mean, I think I was reading somewhere I think the top 6 or top 5, 4 or 5, they've still got to play each other at some point before the end of the season, so that might work in our favour. But like I said, there's a couple of them got a game in hand. The worry for me is our home form. That's the worry. We're not playing well enough, hoping to win all the home games left, so we've got to win them all. I think we might win 3. We might get 9 points out the last 5 games, I think. So I think we'll fall just short, but still be overall an overachieving season.
Nice one. Mickey Max says, good show, lads. Are you going to be on Monday? The answer to that is not quite sure just yet, but we'll put something out over the next day or so. Thanks, Mickey. David Spencer's going to be tough. Glenn Jones, nice 3-0 win. David Spencer, all 5. One Sanderson score from a corner. And Mickey Mouse laughing. Anyway, Owen, again, same question to you.
I agree with the lads. We've got to win all 5. It's the only way we can get into the playoffs is by winning all 5. How many will we win? I think I did a prediction the other day. I've got us getting 11 points out of a possible 15. I think we'll finish 7th. I think we'll miss out by a point or 2 on the playoffs, and it'd be even more galling given away where we've conceded those last-minute equalisers in those 3 games in particular and getting dropped stupid points, isn't it? So, yeah, I think we'll just miss out. It's for me, it's the West Brom away game and it's the Preston away game that really worry me. Even though our away form is better, it's just because I think West Brom they're going for it. They're a very talented team. And the way they played second half against us at the stadium, I like they outplayed us. And Preston, I think, like Jack says, they'll be going for it on that last. I think they'll have something to play for. I think they could well be the team that's come out of the pack and gets into the playoffs, to be perfectly honest with you.
Do you reckon the 2 draws are West Brom and Preston?
Yes, West Brom. Yeah, I've got. I think that was a 1-1 at West Brom. I'd predicted in a 1-1 at Preston on the last day of the season.
3 home wins on the plus, though. 3 home wins if you're saying 2 away draws. So it's something at least. We're going to improve the home record a bit.
Yeah.
I was just going to say the scenario. Imagine the scenario: the last game of the season, Preston, they're 6th and we're 7th. Winner takes all. That'll be a canny scenario.
Yeah, that would be good.
No doubt it'll be on Sky
live on
Sports.
Sky. That would be.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to say a big
Sports
thank you to everybody in the chat now for watching it. If you've enjoyed the live stream, please give us a thumbs up, smash the thumbs up. Thank you for all the comments and everything, much appreciated. If you weren't here, we wouldn't have a channel. We'd be talking to ourselves like 4 losers. Like 1 loser and 3 intelligent people. Jack, do you want to say goodbye and good night, everybody?
Yeah, hopefully we get the win on Saturday. And I'll see you all later, lads and lasses.
Wayne, from your home studio, do you want to say goodbye?
Yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Take it easy, stay safe, and we'll speak soon. Thank you very much.
And I'm pretty sure everybody on the chat's already subscribed to Owen's channel. But Owen, why should they subscribe to your channel?
Daily content on Sunderland, guys. What we all want to know. We all want to talk about Sunderland every day, don't we? What else is there to talk about? Maybe why I'm single, maybe. Anyway,
there you go, ladies out there. There you go, ladies. Do you want to say goodbye, Owen?
Makes these pods worthwhile. Yeah, goodbye.
Right,
Thanks,
so there we
everyone,
go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Take care. God bless me. God go with you.
Yeah.
Must be. I think he's lagging. He's lagging behind. He's lagging behind. Anyway, we'll see you all later. Thank you for watching. Thank you, everybody.
See ya.